Hello and welcome to today's video. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, when did I start losing my strength? It doesn't happen overnight. One day you're walking up the stairs with ease, and the next, each step feels heavier. You struggle to get up from the couch. Your arms tire quickly. Even carrying groceries feels like lifting weights. And the worst part? You might be unknowingly doing things every single day that are speeding up this decline. Muscle loss after 60, known as sarcopenia, is not just a natural part of aging. It's often accelerated by simple, avoidable mistakes. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. By becoming aware of these mistakes and making small, smart changes, you can stop the loss and even rebuild what you've lost. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 surprising mistakes that are secretly weakening your muscles, mistakes that even healthy, active seniors often make without realizing it. If you care about staying strong, mobile, and independent as you age, this is the video you've been waiting for. Stick with me until the end, because I'll also share an overlooked habit that top doctors now say could be the single most important key to preserving muscle strength well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let's get started and give your body the strength it deserves. Most seniors start their day with something light, maybe toast, a banana, or just a cup of coffee. It feels easy. It feels familiar. But here's the truth. Skipping protein in the morning is one of the biggest reasons your muscles may be fading faster than they should. You see, as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein to build and repair muscle. That's why older adults actually need more protein than younger people, not less. But here's the catch. Your body can only use a certain amount of protein at one time. So if you eat very little protein at breakfast and then try to make up for it with a big dinner, your muscles still miss out. In fact, according to a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, seniors who spread their protein intake evenly across meals retained more muscle mass and strength compared to those who ate most of their protein at dinner. So what should you do? Start your day with at least 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. Great options include a couple of eggs with Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie with whey, almond butter, and berries, or even cottage cheese with fruit and nuts. It's not just about eating more, it's about eating smart. By fueling your muscles in the morning, you're giving your body the building blocks it needs to stay strong all day long. And remember, your first meal sets the tone for your strength, energy, and mobility. Don't let your muscles start the day on empty. Many seniors believe that if they go for a walk or hit the gym a few times a week, they're doing enough to protect their muscles. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if you exercise daily, sitting for hours afterward can still accelerate muscle loss. This is something researchers now call active sedentary behavior. Yes, you exercised for 30 minutes, but then you sat for the next 5 hours reading, watching TV, or browsing on your tablet. Unfortunately, your body interprets long periods of sitting as inactivity, and inactivity tells your muscles, you're not needed. That message triggers a biological response where muscle fibers start breaking down, especially in the legs and hips. Studies from institutions like Harvard Health and Mayo Clinic confirm that sitting too long can lead to lower muscle protein synthesis, reduced strength, and faster onset of frailty. So, what's the fix? It's not just about exercising more. It's about sitting less, or at least breaking up the sitting time. Try this. Stand or walk for 5 to 10 minutes every hour. Stretch while watching TV. Do light chores after meals. Even washing dishes or folding laundry keeps your muscles engaged. Consider a standing desk for reading or light computer work. The point is, movement must be frequent, not just intense. Think of your muscles like a bank account. Every time you move, you're making a deposit. Every long hour of sitting, a withdrawal. To preserve muscle, especially after 60, keep the deposits coming. One of the biggest misconceptions among seniors is that they don't need much protein anymore. In fact, many older adults eat less protein as they age, either because of reduced appetite, dental issues, or simply out of habit. But this is a dangerous mistake. After age 60, your body becomes less efficient at using protein to build and repair muscle. What does that mean? It means you actually need more protein, not less, to maintain strength, balance, and independence. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, most older adults should aim for at least 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, sometimes even more if they're already experiencing muscle loss. But there's another hidden trap: timing. Most seniors eat most of their protein at dinner. But by that point, your muscles have already gone 12 to 16 hours without fuel. And guess what? That long stretch of fasting speeds up overnight muscle breakdown. If you want to preserve muscle mass and support recovery, the solution is simple. Backhand index pointing right, start your day with a high-protein breakfast. Great options include Greek yogurt with berries and chia seeds, scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado, a whey protein smoothie with banana and peanut butter. Distribute your protein intake evenly throughout the day to maximize muscle protein synthesis. Remember, protein is not just for bodybuilders. It's your most important ally against age-related muscle loss. Eating enough and eating it at the right times could mean the difference between walking confidently or struggling with stairs in just a few years. You might not feel it, you might not see it, but chronic inflammation could be slowly eating away at your muscle mass. As we age, our bodies become more prone to low-grade, long-term inflammation. It's often triggered by poor diet, lack of movement, stress, or even hidden health conditions like diabetes or arthritis. According to Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Health, chronic inflammation interferes with the muscle repair process, making it harder for your body to recover after activity. Even worse, it can accelerate the breakdown of muscle fibers, weakening your strength, balance, and stamina over time. So what can you do? Backhand index pointing right, it starts with your plate. Avoid pro-inflammatory foods like processed meats, refined carbs like white bread and pastries, sugary snacks and sodas, fried and fast foods, and instead load up on anti-inflammatory foods such as berries, fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, olive oil, leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts and seeds. Add in daily movement like walking or light strength training, and you've got a powerful inflammation-fighting combo. And don't forget, poor sleep, chronic stress, and even dehydration can worsen inflammation. Managing these lifestyle factors plays a huge role in muscle preservation. If you're feeling constantly stiff, tired, or sore, it might not just be old age. It could be inflammation silently draining your strength. The good news? You can fight back. With the right foods, habits, and awareness, you can lower inflammation and rebuild the muscle your body deserves. If you're eating right, exercising regularly, and still feeling weak or fatigued, the missing piece might be something surprisingly simple: sleep. Sleep is when your body repairs and rebuilds muscle tissue. According to Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health, adults over 60 often experience disrupted sleep, which directly impacts muscle regeneration and hormone balance, especially growth hormone, which declines with age and is crucial for muscle maintenance. When you sleep poorly, muscle protein synthesis drops, inflammation increases, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, and that breaks down muscle tissue. Lack of sleep doesn't just make you tired. It slows your recovery, weakens your immune system, and makes it harder to stay active and build strength. So, what can you do? White Heavy Checkmark stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. White Heavy Checkmark create a calming bedtime routine, no screens an hour before bed. White Heavy Checkmark keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. White Heavy Checkmark avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol before sleep. White Heavy Checkmark adds sleep-supporting foods to your dinner, like kiwi, tart cherry juice, or chamomile tea. And most importantly, treat sleep as seriously as your workouts, because it's part of your recovery plan. You don't get stronger while lifting weights. You get stronger while resting after lifting weights. That recovery window, especially during deep sleep, is where real progress happens. So if your goal is to maintain strength, independence, and energy as you age, don't sacrifice your sleep. Protect it. Prioritize it. Let your body heal and grow stronger overnight. As a physician who's worked with older adults for decades, I can tell you this: Muscle loss is not something you simply have to accept as you age. Yes, it happens. Yes, it's common. But it is absolutely not inevitable. In today's video, we uncovered 5 critical mistakes many seniors make, often without realizing it, that accelerate muscle loss. From skipping resistance training to missing protein at key times, even to underestimating the value of restful sleep. But here's the encouraging part. Every one of these mistakes is reversible, even if you've been inactive for years, even if your energy is low right now, even if you're in your 70s or beyond. The human body, your body, is incredibly adaptive. Start small. A short walk after dinner, a couple of bodyweight squats each morning, an extra serving of protein with breakfast. Prioritize sleep. Add in healthy fats. You don't need a gym or a complicated plan. You just need consistency and commitment. Remember, muscle is independence. It's what allows you to get up, move freely, and live on your own terms. And it's never too late to build it back. I'd love to hear from you. What change will you start with today? Leave a comment below. And if this video gave you clarity, inspiration, or hope, consider subscribing. We share videos every week designed to help you stay strong, sharp, and healthy naturally. Thank you for trusting us with your health. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Because health is not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years.